Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Tarot Time. Happy Friday. Okay, so for today's reading, we're going to start it here and then finish it over in our community page. Now, in our community page, we also have a new space. It's called the Circle Girls. It doesn't have to be for just females, but the premise is it's a place to come in there and talk. And if you have an issue and you need some guidance, other members or the readers can give you some guidance. And there's no judging in there. And everything is fully moderated by me. And you know me, I don't tolerate that. So it's a no judgment zone. And I'd like it to have the same feel that when I owned my angel store and I had my round table in the back store, and the girls would sit around it and we all just be moral support for everybody. So that's what my goal is, and that's what my vision is. Okay, so if you haven't, go over to the tarotbridge.com, sign up. Bridges Tarotbithia is my featured reader. I will be tagging some of her videos. She's an amazing reader, 19 years experience. She's my first vetted reader that I vetted. She's been patient and kind and generous, and she moves with grace, and I am very, very lucky to have her. And if you need a reading, definitely go give her a try. You will not be sorry. Okay, so what I decided to do for Friday is story time. I know you guys like story time. And the way I'm going to do it, it's better this way than me in front of the camera because you really get to see the cards. And the way I'm going to do it is just build one card on top of another and tell the story as tarot is meant to be. So Eight of Pentacles talks about burying your head in work. Are you burying your head in work? Are you trying to escape something, or is somebody else trying to do that? Because a lot of people are notorious for that. They're like, if they work really hard, really fast, and don't think about anything, then they don't have to feel anything, okay? So if you look here, this person is blocking the outside out of his life, and he's just concentrating on his work. You know, I once dated a guy years ago, and he said to me that the chances are good men think of women, or I don't know if this is true, is late at night when they're lying in bed. He said, when they're in the bathroom. I said, oh, glorious. But I think the moral to the story was it's a lot of men and a lot of women, once their mind slows down and they have nothing else to do but think, then that is when they do it. But until then, what they do is they bury themselves in work and they bury themselves in their thoughts. The thought on this person's mind is a Queen of Cups. Now, you don't have to be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but you are somewhat emotional in your feelings. And I don't mean emotional like, crazy person, but you're more forthcoming with your emotions. So this person kind of wants to hear, he's got his ear here, kind of wants to hear how you still feel about him, but he's reluctant. So he's like, well, let me just keep working and burying myself in work, and maybe the feelings will go away. Her, on the other hand, she is receptive to telling you how she feels. Okay, so maybe you watching this, you're receptive to telling someone how you feel about them. But you'll notice on her cup, which is her heart, she has a hanky. So she still filters a lot of things out. So if you do have the opportunity to speak to this person, you're going to find yourself filtering what you're saying to them, because you may have got this whole thing planned in your head of what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. And then you get in front of this person and you do everything but, okay? The Knight of Swords kind of tells me like she's being pushed into him. Now, is it physically? I think it's more universal, I think the angels show up in all different areas of our life in different forms. And I think they help us and guide us along. And I feel like we look at this couple here and you say, well, all he does is work. He's burying his feelings and she's just sitting there in her clam. You don't want to be sitting in your clam. She's a clam on the half shell. And looking at her emotions and thinking about it, and trying to bury herself in that, but she keeps going over and over the thoughts again. And then something comes along. This isn't a person, I feel, as much as it's an energy. Something comes along and pushes these two together. Okay? Aha. And here, let me put it down here so you can see it, which makes sense because this is my serendipity card. Okay? So everything gets kind of pushed together. Like she comes into him and he doesn't expect it. It's almost like they run into each other. They can run into each other because eventually he's going to have to stop working and eventually she's going to have to stop sitting there looking at her feelings. Okay? And that's when the conversation starts. So the universe kind of takes control of the wheel. Don't forget, Wheel of Fortune, and it's my serendipity card, and all of a sudden pushes those two together. And they're like, you want to keep working and burying your feelings? We'll show you. And her, you think you're going to just sit there on your clam and not move? Yeah, we'll show you too. So I think sometimes the universe does take control. And when it does happen, with the Ace of Swords, I always get clear communication. I always get a really good conversation. Now, will the Queen totally spill her cup? I don't think so. I think when this person kind of rears their head again, and I'm assuming it's a love person. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be. It could be a broken family member or friend or whatever. Only you would know. But a relationship that's in separation too, nonetheless. But I think that there's going to be a lot of things that need to be said that are more important than the speech you have ready in your head. Okay? So there's more important things to say to this person, like, you just walked out of my life. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Who does that sort of thing? Yeah, I mean, I think you really, with the upright ace, you get down to the meat and the potatoes, and I'm not saying a screaming match by any means. You can get your point across without yelling at anyone. But, like, why did you do it? Why did you treat me like that? And that conversation is probably needed more for you so you can stand up for yourself. That's what the universe is looking for. Is the Queen of Cups going to stand up for herself and take a stand for herself? Because I feel right now, too, a lot of you are in this Nine of Swords kind of thing. And the Nine of Swords is when we continuously play the same thing over and over again. We get different versions of it here and there, but the story still comes back the same. It was hurtful. Why did they do this? It's that monkey mind thing. It's the record with the skip in it. But the nice thing about the Nine of Swords is, and with the Ace of Swords right near it, that becomes the Ten of Swords. And that means that it's just about coming to an end. You're done. And once you're done with it, with the Ten of Swords, you are done. So that's a good thing. I see victory. I see recognition. I see attention. So when these two people come together, they're going to realize that there's still attraction. There's still admiration between the two of them. But there's still some problems there. Because don't forget, you've won the battle. You have not won the war. All right, my dears, we're going to pick up over in the Tarot Bridge Community Circle. Come to my circle, community page. And we're going to pick up what happens after we run into each other. Okay, if you haven't signed up at thetarotbridge.com, please do. Then click on the community page. You're going to see a bunch of free readings. That's where we're getting ready to host class. Rachel, one of our readers, is going to start doing a blog on tarot and all things spiritual, which is going to be interesting. And we have a new site on there coming up too, the Circle.